So today I'm going to be going over what I think the 3 biggest keys are to passing in Madden. So the first thing is how many pass rushers do you think the defense is going to have, right? Are they going to blitz? Are they not going to blitz? Usually you can tell this by pre-snap. So if it's a defense like this, right, it's pretty clear that there's only going to be 4 rushers on the play. There's really no blitz right here because if, any of these blitzers blitz, right, these 7 guys in coverage, like which one would blitz? Whoever blitzes, they're too far away from the quarterback. They're never going to get a sack, even if you were to blitz them. So you might as well have them in coverage, right? So this is what most defenses will look like that you play against. So yeah, here it's a pretty easy tell. It's a 4-man rush. Now, when it's a 4-man rush, how do we adjust our offense to counter this? Okay, what I usually do is I'll run a play like this right here. So I'll have one guy usually running deep, right? Then an intermediate route, and then 3 guys running short. That's usually what I'll do. And let me explain why. So basically this is a cover 3 look, right? It's the most common defense in the game. So I need this guy. I'm going to be trying to attack the left side of the field, right? So I need to get this guy out of the way to try to create a high-low read between Y and A, to put pressure on this defender to pick between Y and A. The first thing I got to do is I got to get rid of this outside third right here. So that's why I have the streak, right? He has to guard the streak. If he didn't, then X would have a touchdown. So he's got to guard that. All right, now there's only one zone on the outside, which is pretty common. That's usually what you're going to see about 95% of the time. So that's why I'm having 2 guys run to the outside here, because there's only one guy that can cover him. So Y and A. So if he plays short in the hard flat, right around here, I hit Y. If he plays deep and takes away Y, I just hit A. Okay. Now the question is okay, that makes sense with those 3 wide receivers, but why do you have RB and B? Why is this a route combination? Well, usually there's something called a user in Madden. So let's say if they have hard flats on the field, right? Just like this. So basically, they're taking away A, correct? But with their user, they user intelligently and then just user the corner route with Y. So all X, Y, and A then would be covered. Now, however, if they leave their zone, that's what the purpose of B is. So basically, I'm going to pretend like I would be running with Y, so I'm just going to man him up, right? And that's where B runs into his zone, and if this happened, I would just hit B, just like this. So that's why I have B there. So I'm making high-low reads, and if you gamble with your user, I'm going to make you pay. That's how you beat the 4-man rush. If it's cover 2, which is pretty rare, but if it is cover 2, then just send everyone deep. So that's usually what I would do. But be consistent with that. If you see a 4-man rush, it's usually not going to be cover 2. So 1 guy deep, 1 guy intermediate, 3 guys short. That's how I usually play Madden. Can it vary sometimes? Yes, but that's usually how I play Madden. However, if they're blitzing like this is a 5-man rush, right? So what does this mean? Well, that means we got to get rid of the ball pretty quick. That's one thing. So, but the other thing is that they don't have many guys in coverage, so that's going to be a hole in their defense. So one thing you want to do here is, well, first of all, if you think it's cover 2, I might run something like this, where I can block the blitz, and I can go deep against cover 2. There's only 1 guy deep there. I have A and B. One of them is going to be open. The deep half has to choose. Actually, usually both is going to be open, to be fully honest, in this game. But usually when people blitz, they won't be in cover 2. So it might be something like this. This is pretty common. This is a very common defense. So actually, in fact, they would usually probably shade down and make it a hard flat and take away the flat. But so how do I beat because usually when people blitz, it's going to be a cover 3 blitz, right? So how do you beat a cover 3 blitz? Okay, well, here's the thing. You as a player should know, since there's 5 guys blitzing, right? 6 guys in coverage, 3 guys are deep. There's only 3 underneath zones. So something I would do a lot, and you should do this in every formation, is to have 1 guy run deep, just to kind of clear things out. And 4 guys run short. So 2 guys run short kind of in this area. 1 guy run in this area right here. This area right here. And then the flats. That's why I have this, because one of these 4 guys is going to be open because there's only 3 underneath zones. So this is how I beat the blitz if I think it's cover 3. Again, if I think it's cover 2, just make sure you block it, right? Block an extra guy and then just go deep, throw some touchdowns. But that's usually not going to happen. It's going to be a cover 3. So it'd be like this. And as you can see, there's no zone right there in the flat. And you hit the flat for a first down. If you make a guy miss, you could go for a lot more than a first down. But that's the first thing in Madden, is how many guys do you think are blitzing? All right, the second key in order to be a great passer is you have to be able to attack both sides of the field. Now, this formation right here can't attack both sides of the field because it can't attack the right side of the field. Why can it not attack the right side of the field? Because it has nothing to pull the deep zones back, right? You need pull routes on both sides of the field to attack both sides of the field. So if I'm in a defense like this, where I'm basically in a cover 3 hard flat, right, to the right side of the field, as an offensive player in this formation, I don't have a chance to beat this. I don't. Because there's two zones guarding the outside, right? And I'm going to try to flood the right side. So this is what my route combination is going to look like, right? With 3 routes versus 2 zones. This is not going to work because the middle third is going to guard the streak from B, and then the outside third will take A, and the hard flat will take RB on that flat route. So that's why this won't work. I'll show it to you right now and how it works. And okay, if that's an accurate throw, that's a pick. So now let me show you something though. If you want to make this formation work, right, and I'm just going to rush 3 so you can see how the play develops, B would have to be motioned out because you've got to be able to pull the deep blues. So now the same routes, all 3 players are running the same routes, it's just with the motion out. This is now going to be open. A is going to be open. The defense is the same. And the outside third now has to guard B. It's called a pull route. So now A is wide open. So that's how you have to do it. Because, yes, with this formation, we can definitely attack the left side of the field. You're going to be able to pull everything, right? All the deep blues, quarters, thirds, halves, doesn't matter. Because you're actually going to be able to pull quarters even from that slot receiver, number 11. But you can definitely attack the left side of the field, but you can't attack the right side of the field in this formation. And that's a problem because let's say they double Mabel, or they Mabel on the left side of the field, right, where they have this guy plays deep, this guy plays short. Therefore, we can't throw it to the left side of the field. We'd have to throw it to the right side of the field. And unfortunately, with this formation, we can't throw it to the right side of the field. So that's why when playing Madden, when figuring out an offense, make sure you have pull routes on both sides of the field. All right, the third and most important thing, in my opinion, is being able to read the defense. You have to be able to read the defense because then it doesn't even matter if you get guys open. If you can't read the defense, then you can't find the open receivers. It doesn't matter. So the first thing is okay, we already said identify how many blitzers you think is coming. But the first guy you read on the play is the corner. Because if he's in a deep blue, you know it's probably a cover 3 or cover 4. If he's in an underneath zone, you know immediately it's cover 2, and then you look for your cover 2 beaters, right? But in this case, I'm going to show you what he does in a deep blue. So if he's in a deep blue, just like this, what he'll do is pretty simple. He turns his back, he turns around and starts running. That's it. So B is, see how he just turns around and immediately starts running? They'll do the same thing in a deep half or outside quarter. It doesn't matter. That's how to read it. If they just turn around and start sprinting backwards, it's a deep blue. And then you should try to throw underneath it. Now, let's say it's man coverage. how do I read it if it's man coverage? Just like this. So if it's man coverage, and I'm sending 3 guys here just so you guys can see how the play develops, but if it's man coverage like this, and you should always read the corner furthest where your 3 wide receivers are, or your 4 wide receivers. So in trips, you look for the trip side. In bunch, you look for the bunch side first with the corner. If it's like a gun doubles, like a 2x2, look to the side where the running back is. But in this case, I'm looking at this corner right here, right, with the glowing X factor. How do I know immediately if he's in man coverage? If he's in man coverage, he'll basically just stand there and wait for you. He won't jump forward, he won't jump backwards, and he won't open up his hips at all. He just waits for you and then just kind of follows your route. That's how I know. It doesn't really matter what route I'm on. He will wait for the cut, and then he'll react. And he won't open up his hips. So I'm going to run a slant. He just waits, and then he follows, right? And reacts. Just like that. And, yeah, I guess Calvin made a pretty good defensive play there. Now, the second question is, or the third type of defense he can be in, right? Or the third type of zone is an underneath zone. So, in this case, I'm going to put him in a cloud flat. So, he's going to kind of play this area right here about, 10, 15 yards. So, how can I tell immediately if he's in a cloud? It's pretty simple. So, if he takes a couple steps backwards immediately, but does not turn his hips, cloud flat. See? He stays straight, but he just took a couple steps back. I could easily hit B there for a whole shot, but that's how you know if it's a cloud flat. Do they just kind of take a couple steps backwards, but don't turn their body? Cloud flat. Now, what if they play an underneath zone, but they want to be in a hard flat, right? So, I'm gonna press him this time, just so you guys see. What he's going to do is he's going to turn his hips toward the quarterback. That's what he's going to do. So, I'm going to hike the ball right here. Same route combination. See? He just turns his hips towards the quarterback. Boom. Hard flat. If it's a hard flat, definitely throw it over the top of it. So, that's how I read a defense. Look at the corner first. Like I said, if it's an underneath zone, think cover 2. Go to your cover 2 beaters on that play. If it's cover 3 or cover 4, he's probably going to turn, and just sprint backwards. And go to your cover 3 or cover 4 beater that play. That's how you read a defense. Those are the 3 keys I think you need in order to be a great passer. It doesn't matter what formation you're in, bunch or trips. You're going to have a lot of the same thoughts. You're going to read defenses the same way. You're going to have a lot of the same concepts. So hopefully this helps if you're struggling passing at all, or maybe you're even good at passing but can get even better. So hopefully this helps people, and thanks for watching, everyone.